What's going on, you guys? Nick here. Another awesome Freedom Friday broadcast. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday because I know I am. And as we always start every broadcast, today is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. So, guys, I want to actually let you know that there are certain things that are going to be added to the Freedom Friday broadcast, and with some great changes and stuff like that. And been doing Facebook Live for Freedom Fridays for a pretty long time. I said pretty, but pretty long time. And we're doing a little bit of injecting some new things into the post. So just bear with me, as I go through and add these different things. I hope you guys love the changes and stuff like that. So, gonna take a second to just share this out here. I'm still working on that. And we'll go into some of what we got going on as far as new stuff, and for some of the things that we got coming, and obviously what we got going on today. So just bear with me one second. Let me just, as a matter of fact, I think because on the phone it's a bit different. So here, let's see if we can set this up here. Well, before I do that. Okay. Alright, so where are we? Right here. So, but when you guys come in, make sure and let me know where you're tuning in from. I really like the interaction and stuff like that, so I really want to know where you guys are tuning in from. Hey, what's up, Letitia? How you doing? I did get your message. We'll definitely talk in a few when I get off here. Tisha's coming from SoCal, so shout out to the California coast and all those that are loving that West Coast weather. I know it's supposed to be, it's really nice out here today, but it's still cold, and things like that. It's still a little bit nippy, and sinus is killing me, but still gotta press on, you know what I mean? So I'm just definitely glad to have another day, because a lot of people woke up today and they did not have what they had yesterday. And when I say that, I mean, like, they're not able to do certain things. They're not able to, have their faculties in order. Some people didn't wake up in their right minds, and some people, they just either, don't really feel the same way that they do yesterday. And I mean physically in your body. So every day that you have that you're actually able to be in good health and to be, in a stead where, you're able to do the same things, not to, necessarily physically, but, you're in your right mind, you're in, you have your faculties about you and stuff like that, and God has given you another day. You should definitely be thankful for that. And not just be thankful, but, take it a step further and take advantage of the fact that you have been given another shot and that you have another day on the earth, because a lot of people did not even wake up this morning, guys. So it's definitely something that we need to pay more attention to in life, is that we are definitely able this morning. If you're watching this right now, if you're watching the replay, you are definitely fortunate that God has given you life and that He has given you the opportunity to make changes and to make your life better. So, I wanted to really, as usual, I've been saying this in my last couple lives. Hey, I got a couple of people joining in. Hey, Sarge. Hey, Michael. Hey, Benita. Hey, guys. Hey, Shelly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's so awesome to have you guys supporting. I really do appreciate everybody that jumps on here and really supports. I mean, especially during the live. it's definitely a special thing to me. And, all of you guys that have supported the Freedom Friday broadcast, I really appreciate the love. And, keep showing the love. If you know somebody that can use the content, use the advice and things like that, make sure that you share it with them, because at the end of the day, I'm about positivity. I'm about, letting people know that God is real. I'm about to let people know that, you know, they have hope, and it's always, hope is always a good thing, guys. Hope is always a good thing to share, because we live, like I was telling my team, we live in a negative world. Honestly, we live in a negative world, and the thing about that, I'm sorry if I'm cutting in and out, guys, because the my internet, for some reason, I don't understand it. I have two networks, guys. Here's the funny thing. I have two networks. I'm sorry, guys. But the thing is, I have two networks with the same company, two wireless networks. And for whatever reason, I still have intermittent signal issues. I don't know why. And yes, I'm going to put them out there. Comcast is who I have. And not to say that I'm knocking them, because I've worked for them and I've had them for a number of years. And aside from a few things, i.e. the bandwidth issues, I haven't had too much problems with them. But I understand people feel very strongly about Comcast and their service and stuff like that. But I don't understand, if you have two networks, I don't understand how you are not able to, or you have any kind of signal issues at all. So, Michael says buy your own router instead of that. Oh my gosh. Hey Mike, you know what's funny about that? The hilarious thing about that is actually the the last associate that I spoke to at Comcast actually told me that. He was like, "Look, man, you could just buy your own router and then have that to use instead of paying, what is it, $11? I don't even know. I've gotten like one of those people that just pay their Comcast bill and just be over with it, because I don't want interruption, because I have a business to run. You know what I'm saying? I do my diligence, but at the same time, but you're right, Michael. I do need to buy my own router. I should have bought it since last month, but it is what it is. Hey Carla, just tuning in. Thank you so much for jumping in, guys. I love all my folks jumping in, my teammates, my family, and stuff like that. Like, you guys, honestly, guys, it's always good to have you guys on. So, what I was really wanting to share with you guys was something that I was talking to my team about on our Wednesday night mastermind. Basically, we got together, and we have these weekly masterminds, and we have the webinars basically that we host, and we just get together and we have obviously a presentation as far as what we do, and we also have like a group training. Let me set this down here, guys, because this is a little better this way. Right, so it's kind of central. I can still see you guys. And actually, Carla said she almost missed me again. Nah, I made sure, and I did it a little later on, purposely, because I had some things to do, so I had to come in and make sure, But I usually try to get started pretty well early. So, what I was talking about to my team on the mastermind, after some of the training was done, was a story that one of my favorite preachers, Dr. Tony Evans, talks about in one of his sermons, and it has a lot to do with indoctrination. And at the risk of diving into the word right now, what he was basically talking about was not having, but the story of the elephant and the rope. And what he said was, basically, most of us in life, the reason why we don't do certain things is because we've been so indoctrinated, so fearful of repercussions, whether it is, you know, whether it is in business, in life, in relationships, or whatever it is. We are so indoctrinated by fear and so arrested by fear, and it stems from indoctrination. And what he was trying to say was, the elephant, from a small elephant, you look at that animal and you think, when you go to the circus, I don't know how many of you have been to the circus, but if you look at that elephant, most of them are tied up to a little piece of rope around their ankles, and that rope is tied around the stake and it's driven into the ground. And what it is that, you know, people don't know that what happens is, from a very, very small animal, they capture them and they bring them in, and they put that rope around their ankle, and they train them that as long as this rope is around your ankle, you are not to move. You can't move. You can't go anywhere, because at the time they really can't, because they make sure and secure them. So when most people go by these grown elephants and they think, how is it possible that these people have these animals tied up to this little piece of piddly string? I mean, really, this elephant won't even take a little effort for it to just pull away. But what you don't understand is the elephant's mindset by that time. It's been so long since he understood that no matter what, he can't pull away from that rope. And it's been so ingrained in his mind that, or her mind, it's been so ingrained that when they even think about that, they think about the pain that came with trying when they were little. So by the time they are grown, they're basically bound, not physically to that little rope, but mentally to the idea of there's no point in struggling. Sorry guys, again, cutting out. So just bear with me, guys. But there is no point in struggling. There's no point in fighting it. There's no point in trying to get out, things like that, because of the fact that it remembers what it was like hitting that mental wall, hitting that physical wall, where even though it tried, it couldn't. And so far is how we are in life, where it is just so much a part of us to not take risk. It is so much a part of us not to do anything outside of our comfort zone, that when you actually get to the point that you should do something, it's just that you don't want to. And not because you don't feel like you should, it's because you've tried so many things and it hasn't worked. And because it hasn't worked and you failed and you felt the pain of something not working and not going right for you, or whatever it is, or even your parents telling you that, you're dumb, you're stupid, you won't amount to anything, or whatever it is, even if they're not physically saying those things to you, but every time you try to move forward, there's always somebody telling you what you can and cannot do. And hey Letitia, good morning. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know where you guys are from in the world, so I know, to shout you guys out. So, I love seeing where everybody's from. I love knowing where my audience is from. So, but again, guys, where you have been told all your life, and it comes from your great-grandparents, your grandparents, your parents, it stems from that point in your past where it has been so much the norm, so much comfort that it's like if you dare to do anything different, then you're chastised for it. Sorry, it says Montgomery, Alabama. Montgomery, Alabama in the house. I think Sheila, one of my teammates, Sheila, is also from Alabama. So that's pretty cool. I hope she tunes in later. But thank you, Sarge, for being the first to jump out there. So, guys, when you think of the importance of just doing something, when you think of where you want your life to be, because when you okay, I give you a perfect example. And I don't mean to pick on my island people because I love y'all, that's where I'm from, that's my heart. But we have a bad habit. We have a bad habit of saying, when something doesn't go right, when something doesn't work, welcome to the real world. I know my parents said it to me, my grandparents said it to me. Carlos says NYC. D just joining. Thank you so much for joining in, D. Welcome, welcome. I know my parents said it to me, my grandparents said it to me, and it's more often, because of, something negative. And it's so much, it's so important to note that whenever something happens to you negatively and somebody chastises you for it, where they tell you it's kind of like an I told you so, or you shouldn't have done that, or whatever it is, it stores in your mind unconsciously. See, we mistake and misunderstand the power of the subconscious mind. When you hear that, when you try something and you fail miserably sometimes, what the people around us, especially our family members, and don't get me wrong, we love them, but when you get to the point and you fail at something, and you have somebody that you care about, that their opinion matters to you, they chastise you and bring you down further just to bring your head out of the clouds. It gets stored into your mind, into your subconscious. And so you have enough of that happening that you'll get to the point where you don't try anything anymore. You don't do anything outside the norm. A friend of mine that's also on the team, I was listening to her talk and stuff like that. I'm not going to put her name out there because, protecting the innocent, stuff like that. She got to the point where she was like, I'm dying a slow, agonizing death. And not to say literally, we're all gonna die. We all know that. But in this particular instance, she was just talking about her life in general. When your life becomes a energy sucking abyss of just darkness and nothingness, where you dread where you work, you dread where you live, you dread what you do every day, you dread where you go, you can't even stand the traffic that you're in, the city that you live in, the people around you. Your life begins to become this life-altering, life-sucking black hole. And when you focus on that, and because of all the negativity that is allowed into your mind by you yourself, but when you allow that stuff to become your environment, you have to understand, every so often you have a chance to break free from the current environment, the current mental state that you have. But if you allow, the longer you allow something, a train of thought, a way of doing, a way of being to continue in your life, you will create an environment. You will create a mental environment that becomes your life environment. It becomes your world. So if you have people constantly telling you what you can't do, what can't be accomplished, what can't be done, how dare you try this? No one's ever done that. Nobody can ever think about doing things like that. Who are you to do that? Deanna says parents and family are infamous for creating mental viruses. Very careful of my family because of this fact. I've been so for years. Sorry says gotta balance that this 9 to 5. Don't want my supervisor to catch me with this phone. Go MC. Thank you so much, Sarge. Thank you, D. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Sorry. So I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll definitely catch up later. What's up, Greg? Thank you for tuning in. It's so true, and it's not to say that we don't love our parents. It's not to say that we don't respect them. It's not to say that we don't love our family members to death. But you have to understand, you have one life to live, and a lot to do with that. Outside of God, your mind state is such a powerful influence on the things that you are able to do and the things that you won't able to do. Because one of my favorite quotes is, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're probably right. I forgot who said that, but it's a powerful quote because of your mind state. Because if you whatever you believe inside here will always be the determining factor. It doesn't matter what tools you have. You could have a beautiful car, fast, slow, smooth, whatever you're into. But if you don't believe in your heart that you can get out there and drive that car, that thing will never move and will rust away and die a slow death because you don't believe in your mind that you can do it. Something as simple, and I've experienced this myself, something as simple as stepping up onto an embankment. If you don't think you can, how many of us have been hurt and just recovering physically from something, and you sprain your leg or whatever it is, and you're trying to make it up onto an embankment, you're trying to step up without hurting yourself. If you don't think you can, there's not too much anybody else can do. It's until, even if somebody has to come alongside you to put your arm around their shoulder, put most of their weight to help support you to get up. If you don't think you can, you'll drag both of you down. You'll drag both of you down to the ground. Why? Because you don't think it's possible. So that's why, especially in a team setting, when people are trying to help you, when people are trying to give you advice, telling you exactly what to do, you will still be handicapped because of your mind state. Because you don't believe that you can get it done in here yet. And until you believe that you can get it done, until you believe that you can break free from that rope, until you believe in who you are and whose you are in God, you will not be able to move forward. You will not be able to affect powerful change through God in your life. Because here's the thing. We're all God's children. He loves us. He wants the best for us. And think of this, parents. Some of us on this live right now, we have kids. You know what I'm saying? How much do you love your children? What wouldn't you do good for them? What wouldn't you give to give them the best of everything in life, as long as you have it? But there are certain times that, they have to be the ones to come to you, because you, even though you know they need things, you need them to show that initiative to come to you, to be like, okay, well, can you help me with this? Can you help me get here? The thing that I love about God is He is a gentleman. He is not like the enemy. He is not like Satan, where he will force himself upon you. Even if you give him an inch, the devil will force himself into that inch and take your whole life over if you let him. But the thing about God that I love is that He is a gentleman. See, He is a God of the impossible. There's nothing that He can't do for you. There's nothing according to His will. The Bible says He wants the best for you. He basically made you and had a plan for your life that has the ultimate good. His decisions for your life are the best that could ever happen for your life. There's nothing that happens in your life that He doesn't know about. But the thing that we miss is that, yes, God is a God of the impossible. He can do all things. We can do all things. But if you do not make up your mind that it is possible, if you don't make up your mind that it can be done, if you don't make up your mind that despite what your family says, what your friends say, what the naysayers say, the haters say, that it can be done and you will get it done, it will never come to pass. Why? Because faith without works is dead. So the Bible says. And what that means is, even though you believe it in your heart, even confessing it with your mouth, if you don't act on that, you will never move forward. And it starts here. It starts here. See, it's been such a long time since I told a story, but one of the guys I used to associate with right after high school, and if Greg is still in here, he probably knows who this is. He was at my house and I was talking to him, and I was like, listen, and for some reason, God just had this on my heart towards him. It's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? 5 years. It's not a long time. Think about the last 5, how quickly that went by. What do you see yourself doing? You know what he said to me? Man, honestly, and he looked down. I was like, man, honestly, I can't think that far. I don't even know where my life's going to be at tomorrow. It's like, what do you want? What do you want out of life? Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself? Even a week from now. And he got even more depressed. He was like, man, I don't like to think about stuff like that because I just don't know. Life is too random like that. You know how it is around here in the hood. But what does that suggest? An environment of just negativity, of the fact that no matter what you do, you can't get out. You can't escape. And it's a wrong thing to think. It's a wrong thing to dwell on, because it doesn't matter what the environment is. You still have a choice. You still have a choice. See, like I drew the example earlier, if that elephant ever made up its mind that despite how many years, despite how much time that it has spent literally in physical and mental bondage, the day that that elephant makes up its mind to do something different and to break away, there's nothing and no one that can stop it. Nothing and no one can stop it. Why? Because it's in here. See, we have to understand something. If God is the ultimate being in this universe, creator of all things, if He's the only one that can stop you, you have to also realize, if He's a gentleman, even though He could stop you, if you're doing something to better your life that lifts Him up and lifts other people up, even though He could stop you, you know who you have to worry about? You. Because at the end of the day, if you win the battle in here, God is already on your side. So the most powerful being is on your side, working to do all things to work together for your good. The only thing that can stop you is you. The only thing that can make the difference whether you succeed today or not is you. No one else can stop you. If you make up your mind in here that it's already done, not that you're gonna do it, because see, gonna, and it's a, it's a slang term, but still, gonna has hesitance in it. Gonna do, gonna be, gonna walk, gonna talk. No, either you are or you aren't. Bottom line. If you half-stepping is not a step. Either you do or you don't. One of the Carlos says amen. Carlos says I'm hearing you. Okay. See, a story I'd like to share also. Oh, Letitia says I need to hear this. Yeah. We all need to hear this, Tisha. One thing a friend of mine in Primerica, he told me, and it's something that really, really had a profound effect on my life. He told me, he brought me into his office, and it was really new and stuff like that. So just learning, just growing and stuff like that, just learning about the ins and outs, learning the ropes and stuff. And I was struggling, to be honest. And he asked me where I was at, like, you have goals to accomplish. So where are you in accomplishing your goal? So I said, well, I have some interviews coming. I have some, stuff scheduled for later to meet clients and stuff like that. But I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get these interviews done. I'm trying to get people in the office to sit down with me and stuff like that. And I have my portfolio in my hand and a pen. And he grabbed my portfolio, and he sat there for a second, and he looked at me, and he handed it back to me, and he said, I want you to try to drop this. And I stuck there for a second, and I was like, what? What do you mean try? He said, yes, try to drop it. And I dropped it. He said no. He reached down and he picked it back up, and he said no. Try to drop it. You dropped it. Try to drop it. And instinctively, I said, I can't. He said, that's right. You either do or you don't. Either you drop it or you don't. There's no in between. See, you have to make up your mind. If you have a goal set, if you have something that you want to accomplish, you want to retire your mom, you want to retire your dad, you want to buy a house, you want to make more money, you want to save more money, you want to start a relationship with Christ, have a successful and fruitful and meaningful relationship with Christ, with your wife, with your husband, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, whatever it is. If you want to do something, if you have a goal in your mind, you gotta do it. There is no try. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna have hard times. It's not saying that you're gonna fail. It's not saying that you're not gonna falter. It's not saying that you're not gonna have days where you don't feel like doing it. The difference is you gotta do it anyway. See, the thing in life that gets people is not failing at something, but wishing they moved earlier, wishing they did it, wishing they took the time to do what they should have done, could have done, would have done, but didn't. And something happened in their life that reminded them of that. Somebody tells you about getting car insurance, you put it off, you put it off, you put it off. Oh, you got to get this bill, you got to get that bill. Even life insurance, you put this off, you put that off, you put this in front of it, put that in front of it, and something happens. You get into a car accident, a loved one dies, and who's left out? The people that have to be affected by that. You get into a car accident, your family doesn't have a car now. They have to worry about how they're going to get from point A to point B because you can't fix the car. Life insurance, the loved one passed away. Families are left on the poverty line. I've seen so many families out there right now that are suffering. I personally watched a family, after the loved one passed away, suffer and drag through to pay simple bills because of indecision, because of fear, because of not understanding what needs to be done, because of just limiting themselves, because they refuse to get the information and get it done. It's not enough to get the information, but you gotta get it done. And because they didn't, who suffers? It's not just you. Every time you choose not to act on a decision that you know in your heart that you need to act on, it's not just you that suffers. It's not just you that has to pay. People that you would never see in your life, people that you would never personally interact with, will be affected. I said in a live couple months ago now. Thank you, Thomas, for tuning in so much. Glad to have you, man. People don't realize, and let me put it to you like this. What if Martin Luther King Jr. decided that he was going to let the Jim Crow South and the environment and everybody else get to him? Before he made a decision to march on Washington, before he met with people in Congress, before the riots, before the bus boycott, before all these things, what if when he was in college, he realized that it's too much of a daunting task, that even him doing small things to protest the status quo, what if he let that stop him? He had dogs facing him, people that wanted to kill him, telling him that he needed to stop doing what he was doing or else. They threatened his life. What if he let that stop him? What if he let the fear of repercussions stop him? Where would we be today? Black, white, Mexican, Chinese, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are right now listening to this live. If he did not move, doors would not be open for you. Things that you take for granted today, if he decided, just like some of us are, and I say us as in me and you, if he did what some of us do, where would we be? How much would the world change? Because we have to realize what he did in his life, the things that he was able to accomplish, didn't just affect people in North America, but it affected people worldwide. It galvanized people of color, not just black people, not just brown people, but people of color, people that even Europeans, even white people. It galvanized people that realized there was injustice in the world, that they needed to stand for something. Stand against seemingly insurmountable obstacles. I tell people all the time, courage is not the absence of fear, but courage is the will to act in spite of fear. So what's holding you back? Are you going to let a little piece of rope determine the rest of your life? You got a spouse, you got kids, you got a boyfriend, you got a girlfriend, you have goals, you have dreams, you have things that you want for your life. What's your rope? What's your stake in the ground? But more importantly, where's your head at? And if it's not in the right place, take steps to get there now. Because you don't have tomorrow. It's not promised to anyone. You don't have yesterday because it's gone. It's not coming back. The mistakes that you made, the things that you did that you shouldn't have done, the opportunities that you should have taken but you didn't in the past, it's gone. Never to return again. But what you do have is now. Right now. That's what you have, is right now. And what your future will be determined by is what you respond to and what you take action to do now. Simple. We all need to take that moment. And yes, okay, you had a bad day yesterday. You didn't get everything done that you wanted to do. Sure. You have big goals and dreams. You want to do this, you want to do that, you want to affect change. But what are you going to do? Today's a new day. Sorry, my phone is beeping. But I'm still going to push. I'm almost done. So what are you going to do? Are you going to wait just a little longer? I'm going to start on Monday. It's Friday. There's no use in starting right now because it's the weekend. I'm going to have some fun, live it up, and then Monday I'm going to get serious. Bull. I'm just being real with you. The weekend ain't going to make a difference. Starting on Monday for what? Start now. What if you don't make it to Monday? What if the opportunity that you have right in front of you right now won't be around on Monday? What happens then? Who suffers because of your inaction? Whose lives, how many families' lives around the world will be affected because you don't act? Who's waiting on you? So, you gonna let that rope keep you back anymore? The answer is up to you. So I hope that, I've given you guys something. I know I've been in you guys' ear for a while. So I really hope that we all take the chance to do something. And do something positive. Because God meant for us to have an abundant life. And you can't have abundant life if you're just trapped in your own mind and in your own circle and in your own things that you have to do. The abundance is overflow. Abundance suggests overflow. That you have enough to take care of you and yours, but then give back to other people. To be a blessing, a positive impact to other people's lives. That's what we were put on this earth to do. And you can't effectively do that if you can't do it for yourself. So take action today. As usual, with my Freedom Friday post, I like to leave you guys with a financial tip. And this week's tip is saving money. There's no time like the present to start saving money. Even if you take 10%, let's say, for those of you who believe in tithing, I believe in tithing because it's a powerful principle. You take 10%, you give it to God, and you're just saying thank you for Him giving you that option, for Him giving you the ability to make money. But after that, all you have to do is take another 10% of what you make and put it down and don't touch it. Obviously, there's several different ways you could do that. You can do that through a Roth IRA. You can do that through a standard IRA. You can do that through, I don't usually recommend CDs and stuff because you get next to nothing for that. But if you want specific information, I have connections with people that can give you specific advice for free. So, they'll be able to give you specific advice on how to save and use those particular savings engines to do and to make as much of you saving as possible. Even if it's $50 a month. That's like your cup of coffee and maybe your donut. Your Starbucks for a week. A Starbucks for a week. Because that joint is expensive. I'm sorry. A caramel macchiato is insane. I love it though, but I haven't had one in like forever. So, because I know how expensive it is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm cheap. I go with 7-Eleven. I love 7-Eleven. But it's about the little things that you sacrifice to save money. Because people think it's about just coming up on $1 million. Wealthy people will tell you the opposite. It's about the little things that you give up now for a bigger payday later. So, if you want more information on things on how you could properly save, specific information, you can message me, you can leave a comment below and say you want more info, and I'll do my best to hook you up with somebody that can actually help you, and help you not just save more money, but move your financial life forward. And more importantly than saving is making money. Because more importantly than just putting away, you gotta be able to have something to put away. And most of us, how much can an extra $500 a month make a difference in your life? How much can it do? I mean, people think, okay, it has to be like $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. How much would 500 do? If you want to learn ways how to make more money and make more money without having to leave your job right away, message me. I have so many opportunities, including the one that I'm using right now on Facebook, on social media, to make money. So it doesn't have to be complicated, guys. It just has to be something that works, and all you do is you rinse and repeat. So that is my financial tip today. It was like a 3-parter, but still I hope it was able to give you guys a little bit of a leg up, at least the information to get to the next level. So I promised I was gonna talk about the new changes. Obviously, if you look right here, I was able to add that this Millionaire Insight brand. This is my brand. So I'm actually on YouTube as well. You can look up on YouTube. Just search Millionaire Insight, the number 4 life, all one word, and you will be able to find me on YouTube. You can also find me on my Facebook blog page. It's under my first and last name. You can find me on there. It's always posted on my Facebook wall. There's a whole bunch of stuff, guys, but I'll share it on my Facebook page. But if you're looking to contact me, you can always message me. You can always leave a comment below. Be sure, if you guys are just joining, I know a lot of people just jumped on. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to watch the replay and hashtag replay in the comments, because even though I go off, I always look at the comments. And when it goes off, make sure you are clicking the follow button and see first on the following button on my Facebook wall, so you never miss a piece of content that I have. So I'm always going live, guys. So thank you so much for everybody that tuned in and show love. What's up, Andre? What's going on? It was another long one today, but hopefully it was a good one. So he said, sorry I missed it. Definitely catch the replay, man. Hashtag replay. If this affected you and, reached you at any given point, make sure you share this with somebody that needs to hear it, because we all need to break free from the mental shackles that we have, from that little piece of rope that's keeping us back. So let's go out there and let's do it. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you with the love of the Lord. Have a wonderful Friday. It's payday. You also have fun, but be smart. Conquer those mental shackles and go out there and be the best person God wants you to be. Live life, love God. See you when I see you. Peace.